Starting right now. Good morning, everybody. It's Ron Petro. Just going to start here in about a minute. Wanted to make sure you can hear me. So if anybody's on and you can hear me, send me a text. Make sure everything's working right. I have had a little bit of difficulty this morning. We had a big storm last night. So a little bit of difficulty with the internet this morning. Michael, are you on yet? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Jeff, can you hear me? Jeff Wardell?
Yeah, Petro, I hear you loud and clear. Everything's working.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
cool.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Mr. Michael St. Clair, doing good there, Daddy. Awesome.
Yeah, awesome, man. Good to hear.
Congratulations on parenthood, man. You looks cool. Beautiful child.
Thank you.
Are we live? I think we're live. Are we live, guys?
We are live.
I think we're live. We're live.
We're live. We're recording.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to start in about 1 minute, everybody. Okay. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Ron Petrinovich, and welcome to our first ever onboarding webinar. We're going to talk about, and everybody, this webinar is aimed at the brand newest recruit. And so my suggestion as we do these in the future, every month we're recruiting about 700 people. It would be awesome to get those 700 people on a webinar like this, because I truly believe one of the most important steps in having a successful career is getting off to a fast start, and also having the opportunity to be aware of all the tools of the trade. So here we go. Questions that you're going to have when you come in, and everybody, it's important to get to know your new recruit. John and Susie, why are you doing this? Is it extra income? Do you hate your job? Do you want to be rich? What do you want? What are you looking for? What kind of income are you looking for, both short-term and long-term? How much time do you have to devote to the business? Are you coachable? I think one of the most important things is we come in, new people with premonitions of it should work this way. Every time you think about, I'm going to reinvent the wheel, you're probably going to hurt your career. And I hope you're looking for strong leadership, because as a leader, I know where I'm going. And, the weak leaders, you bring them in and they just say, whatever. Okay. So we're going to provide strong leadership. So get to know your new recruit. Make them aware, because this is one of the things that ticks my talk. I'm a crusader. I believe in living benefits. I believe in life insurance you don't have to die to use. I believe in making a difference for these families. I believe we're part of a revolution that's bigger than we are. I believe that we have a chance to change the largest industry in the world. And I believe in these products so much, I own a bunch of them, probably 8 living benefit policies. Also, I believe in tax-free income, risk-free retirement. I've been putting a lot of money every month in my policies for 10 years, and I built an incredible tax-free bank. This is my bank. I want to go buy a car. I don't got to go to get a loan. I go pay cash for the car and pay my policy back. I am the bank. So we give you a chance to do that, tax-free, risk-free. To me, it's another revolution in the retirement community. And then last but not least is 1 and 2 up here. These 2 product ideas have given us a revolution in the distribution and the evolution. See, everything changes in life. Amazon has changed the distribution of consumer goods, and a lot of retail stores all over the world they're going down. Well, guess what? The traditional way that life insurance was distributed is dead, and the new thing is our kind of distribution. And so there's huge money in it for the right person. We got a cause behind a chance to fuel your dreams. In addition now, so we got this crusade, but in addition, you guys, we got a marketing system. Why use the FEG Business Builder System? Why use it? Well, one main reason is it works, okay? Been around for 30 years. Our system is totally dominating the largest industry in the world. It's duplicatable and transferable. I mean, you can know all there is to know about product, but you don't get wealthy until you master our system. With our system, there's no cold calls, all friends of friends, all referral based. In fact, when you signed up as a new recruit, we wrote a book, The Business Builder System. We're going to show it to you here in a second. But that you should print that baby out and study it. That's how to build. That's how to run your business. And I strongly suggest that by submitting to the system, in other words, you don't have a better idea. We know this thing works. Our system produces, we're just dominating this industry. So don't go out and reinvent the world. So let's just make it as simple as we can. What is this system? Okay? So go back to John and Susie. John and Susie in the first 10 days, most important 10 days of the whole deal, there's 3 things we got to get done. We need to sit down and talk to you about your retirement. Now, if you, John and Susie, if you tell me your retirement's not important to you, you might not make it in our business because that's what we do. So it's really, really important that we sit down. We need to show you, for you, what we do. The most important case of your life is yours. That's where it all starts. I talked earlier about my IULs. So we're going to sit down and we're going to teach you how to do this thing right. We're going to do it, and I need to sit down with you and Susie. We're going to do a needs analysis. We're going to focus not only on your life insurance needs, but your retirement needs. And the first thing we need to do is get your plan completed with your spouses. Okay? If you don't own what we do, you'll have no credibility. And by the way, we're going to put you into a plan that you can afford. The last thing we want to do is go beyond your budget. So we're going to sit down with you and we're going to do the right thing. And you're going to learn, this is where it all starts. You're going to learn a ton on your own personal situation. Next, our inventory is our prospect list. You need to be working on your top 25. 100 is better. Don't ever stop building your list. Everywhere you go, you need to be in what we call the friendship farming business, meeting new people, making new friends everywhere you go. You don't tackle them and shove it down their throat. You just make friends with people. And hey, Joe, hey, this is Ron. Hey, I met you a couple days ago at Starbucks. I liked you a lot. Hey, I'm looking for partners in my business. I just liked the way you presented yourself. When can we get together for 15 minutes? And then last but not least, with your field trainer, you need to get in the field. You need to do 3 to 5 presentations the first 10 days. This will put you over the scared phase. Just get in the field. Let your field trainer do all the work. Just go sit there and watch. But guys, beware. We have to learn. We have to teach the recruits what to say and not to say. We're going to cover that later. But we must control the point of contact. Don't let your new recruit just start calling everybody without teaching them, here's what you say and here's what you don't say. Also, challenge all new recruits, the Freedom Fighter Award. You want your business to boom, get people doing this. First 30 days, 3 recruits, 3 sales. In 30 days, you are on your way. Okay. From here, I'm going to sit down with my new recruit. I'm going to talk about the money, the income calculator, which is what we're going to do here in a while. But before we get to that, I want to introduce our next speaker, Steve Little. Steve came into this company about a year and a half ago. His first check, he can tell you the story, something like $500. His first full year, full time, you guys, full time, first year full time, he was able to go out there and earn over $500,000 a year with 12 licensed people. Tell me that's not a big deal. So, Steve, proud to have you on the call. It's all yours.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Hear you good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ron, it's always a pleasure to speak with the group, and I appreciate so much the opportunity to do so. You know, I listened to this morning, and it's such an important topic because if you don't get started right, you're in for a problem. And I just got a text here. Somebody told me I sound like I'm in a hole. And well, maybe we can fix that here in just a second as we go. But you know, what we want to do is, let me try one thing here real fast. I hope that sounds better right there. Hit me back, Steve, and tell me if you would. Anyway, so here's what we're going to jump in the middle of this, and we're going to, can you hear me still, Ron? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Steve, okay. It actually sounds a little bit better.
Okay, good. That's wonderful. So let's jump in the middle of this. You know, one of the things I want everybody to know is I believe a session like this, Ron, is so strong for especially the brand new people that there's some groups out there that have tremendous leadership, upline leaders that do very, very well. And maybe there's some others that were recruited by somebody that's an orphaned out there, or maybe they're out there in a part of the country, they're all by themselves and they got to be the leader. Maybe a great friend recruited them into the business and they're isolated a little bit. And for that person, what I want to say to them is you've got to stand up and be the leader. And a session like this is so good for you because number one, you can get a track, you can model it, but also you can sit down there with your new people and begin to just follow this track right here. One of the things that I think is just absolutely important to understand as a new person in the business, you've got to stay plugged in. You want to attend all the meetings, all the trainings, never miss one. You want to participate in all the calls, get on all of them. You're always picking up new ideas, new little one-liners, new little bullet points. And like one little thing I'd add on to something that Ron said just a moment ago, he talked about that list is always expanding. I refer to it as a living list. Your list should be a living list. You start with those you know. Your first few people, you already know them. They're in your cell phone right now, okay? But as that list continues to grow, think of it as a living list. It's ever growing. And then you've got to think of the campfire. You know, the campfire is one that we have all at one time or another been around a campfire. And if you grabbed one of those sticks off that fire and removed it from the fire and just set it 2 or 3 or 4 feet away, what happens? The fire goes out very, very quickly. That's the same thing that happens to a person that quits going to the meetings. They quit going to the trainings. They quit going on the calls. They said, you know, I've heard that before. I've been there before. Oh, I got this. I got that. I think it's really important up front to tell your people, you know, weak leadership sometimes says, oh, you don't need to do anything. Just, you know, I'll tell you what happened. No, strong leadership says, hey, you need to be to everything. You need to be to all the events. Ron Petro, you'll appreciate this. We got into the business about, I don't know, 4 weeks before our first convention that was being held back in 2016. I've got a picture of our little group that went out there. There were 7 of us. 7 of us went to that convention, and literally 100% of those people are still in this business today. The following year, we had like 24 people at the convention. And literally 95% of those people are all still with us today. There was one that we lost through the cracks out of that last convention. So when you, and what is that? There's a tremendous lesson there. And so when you think of this right here, by the way, if you took that stick that had been removed from the fire and it went out very quickly, what happens if you put it back on the fire? It catches back fire very, very quickly. We've got a saying in our group: stay near the campfire. Keep your people around the campfire. And so we talk to them about those kind of things right up front. One of the things also that I think is very important in your business, and we're talking, we're not just talking about getting started right. We're also talking about building a big long-term business to develop a true secure income, a significant six-figure income, hopefully for you down the road. One of the things you've got to do is commit to growth. You've got to commit to developing the skills. One of the things you have to do, I believe, is just create a personal development program. Maybe it's as simple as reading 10 books, 10 pages out of a book per day, but Think and Grow Rich. This is a classic. Don't have time to go into the details of it. I'm gonna give you 5 or 6 books here in a row. You might want to take a snapshot or read kind of quickly. This book right here, Ron Petro, is the best book I've read ever as it relates to the mental side of winning. This guy was an Olympic champion, 2-time world champion, but what happened is he had trained for 12 to 15 years and got silver. He was about ready to quit his sport when he decided to start researching in depth what happens to those that win gold. And he realized there was a big difference in the mental game from those that win gold and those that win silver. Once he figured this out, he went on to win that Olympic championship and 2-time world champion. And the credentials he's got now are extremely incredible. This book right here, Extreme Ownership, How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. Last year we had at the National Convention, J.P. Donnell, who spoke, and J.P. works with Jocko and Leaf that wrote this book right here. Tremendous, tremendous book on leadership. You want to get that book, you want to read it. The Retirement Miracle, this is one of those books that will give you tremendous foundation in our business. It'll give you belief and conviction far beyond just what your upline might tell you or something like this. Sometimes it's good to hear it from an outside source. And this guy right here has got nothing to do with our company, but everything he says backs up completely what you're going to hear. The Power of Zero, it's a tremendous book. David McKnight, he gives you a big picture on what the tax bracket system really is, what it has been in the past, what it could likely be in the future. Once again, tremendous, tremendous information. The Slight Edge, if you've never read any kind of a personal development book, I would highly recommend this one as being your first. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. If you read this book and apply the principles within it to this business, you will know that you can win. Not, you don't hope you can win, you don't think you can win. You will know that you can win. And this book right here is, one more time, this is one of Ron Petro's favorites, one of my favorites, The New Rules of Retirement Savings. You can get it at Amazon for about 14 bucks. But tremendous, tremendous book. I want to encourage you to bring some of those, put some of those within your life, bring some of that stuff into your personal arsenal. That last book right there, The New Rules of Retirement, I tell my new recruits, if you'll just read that book right there 3 times and absorb it completely, you'll know everything you need to know about the product side of this business. The proper mindset during training, it's not about the $900 you earn. My proper mindset is you don't focus on finishing the training. What you want to focus on is getting trained. You need to know this. You learn it once, you use it for a lifetime. Man, you think about the power of that. And then as a trainer, as a leader, you think about building that team. And you're not just training how to sell something. You're training how to train. You're building builders, okay? The proper mindset is not, now, by the way, get what I'm about to tell you, get this down. The proper mindset is not, let's go make your training sales. The proper mindset is, let's go build you a team. And as you build that team for the individual, what's going to happen is they're going to get trained on how to make the sales too, right? Now, one of the things that I think is very interesting, a lot of people kind of wrestle with this, but let me share with you. You'll notice right there in the middle, we've got the FEG story, okay? The FEG story, that's the crusade that Petro was talking about a while ago. That's the crusade of living benefits, the crusade of a tax-free retirement income, the crusade of a tremendous part-time or full-time opportunity. Now, here's the point to this this message right here. If you go through the opportunity door, which I have done many, many times, or if you go through the product door, what happens is you come out the opposite door. If you go in the opportunity door, you come out the product door. How can you possibly tell someone about our opportunity and not share with them the story of our crusade? Well, the flip side is true too. How can you possibly tell the story of what we're doing from a product perspective and not say, you know what, our company has grown 5x during the last, it's grown 10x in the last 5 years. Man, there's a reason we're doing that. One is the tremendous product story we've got, what we do for the consumer, but the other side of that is the tremendous opportunity. I don't know if you're making all you want to make, if you're in your dream career, or if you've ever wanted an alternative career. We've got a situation where you can start part-time and transition into a new career. It is so exciting, so incredibly powerful. And that right there is a great way to do it. But another way to say that, you're going to recruit your sales and you're going to sell your recruits. Anyway, you want to create a leveraged income. You know, when it's just you've got 24 hours in a day and just 24 hours in a day. What's exciting about creating a leveraged income, let's just take 10 people as an example. If you had 10 people, you've now got access to an extra 240 hours in a day to produce income. Well, who's supposed to win that contest? The guy that's got 24 hours or the guy that's got an extra 240? We all know the answer to that question, right? We create leveraged income. Sell that dream to your people. If I could tell you one thing and one thing only, this is what I would tell you right here. The number one key to winning, you got to prove it works. You got to prove it works. Petro was telling you a minute ago, my first check was $560. We followed it up the next week with $0. So we were off to a tremendous start. The following, but I got my first check was basically August 1 of 2016. We ended up breaking the 100,000 barrier that year, and we broke 100,000. I knew we had to prove it works. I knew we had to get that rig. And how do you prove it works? Well, the first thing is you make money. That's how you prove it works. What we did then the following year, we followed that up in 2017, our first calendar year. It was pretty funny. We had a goal to make $500,000, and that last week, we had 1 week left. We'd made $478,000 in change. We got down to that last week. We made 21,800 something. And I knew we were close, but I didn't know how close. And so I pulled out the calculator. I did it once, did it twice, did it 3 times. Sure enough, we'd made $500,000, $1.84. We made it by $1.84. So that was pretty funny. But you got to prove it works. The second thing you got to do is you got to get promotions. And obviously that means get promotions, like you go from rep to district and from district to division to RM, etc. But that also means you win contests. There's a big contest going on right this very minute to win the chairman's reception at the Vegas convention. Many of you have the opportunity to capture that. You ought to push to get that done. So prove it works. Make money, get promotions. One little simple analogy on that, Ron, would be this. Every time you've ever taken a plane flight, the flight attendant gets up there at the front and they say, hey, if this thing falls out of the ceiling, put yours on first, then help those around you. And why do you not put your kids on first? The reason is, if you're sitting there rolling around on the floor struggling for oxygen, passing out, you're not any good to anybody else around you, right? Well, money in business is your oxygen. Money is the defense to a football team. You got to prove it works. You make money, you get promotions. That's the number one key to winning right there. As I've wrapped my part up here, I want to talk to you about the magic of compound recruiting, because as you launch your new career here, you got to decide what you want to do. See, if you never recruit anybody, you never tell the story. We pay secret agents $0. And but you know, that's a salesman that's unemployed every day. You never recruit anybody. You're always just a salesperson. Sales is a very honorable position, but it's not the dream. It's like eating a cracker when there's a full, unbelievable buffet in front of you, and you just are satisfied with the cracker. And you may love sales today, but somewhere down the road, it would be nice to have security. Now, if you go out there and get one and they get one, your people are going to do what you do. This is a frustrated individual in our business. They get a taste of an override every now and then, maybe, but they never have the dream happen to them. If you go get 2 and you go get 4, they do what you do. 2 goes to 4, 4 goes to 8, and then 16. You see what happens there. This is what we call a mini builder. This guy or gal has a little bit of fun. but they don't ever experience the dream. They do get the experience of taking a vacation and making some money while they're gone, but they never get the experience of making more every single day than they need. That's what you want to do. You want to wake up every day and make more money than you're going to spend that day. If you went and got 3 and then it began to double from there, you'll notice it begins to get very, very exciting. This is the guy or gal that's killing it. And then if you got 5 and they got 5 and they got 5 and they got 5 and it goes down, you got 15,000. This is the empire builder. Now I want to point something out to you here. The difference, see, your people are going to do what you do. You don't show up to meetings, they don't show up to meetings. If you come to meetings, tell them it's important, they'll come to meetings. You go to the convention, they'll go to the convention. Your people will do what you do. If you don't think the convention's important, they're not going to think the convention is important. But in this example here, the difference was you. You got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at the difference once that replicated out. The difference was absolutely unbelievable. Hey, listen, I'm very excited you got to share with you here for a few minutes. Ron, I hope that helped. Back to you, my friend.
Steve, thank you. Hey, Steve, I want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Because if I'm a brand new person, this might be on my mind. So, Steve, you're talking about all this recruiting stuff. I've been here for 2 weeks. How can I recruit when I don't even know what the heck I'm doing myself? I want to take the next 6 months and really learn the products, and then maybe I'll recruit. Why are you telling me to recruit on the front end?
Well, that's
I like.
Yeah, that's a tremendous question, and it's one we hear on occasion. But look, there's a great answer to that. And let's pretend just role play here for a second with you, Ron. Let me be the trainer. Let's say I've got a little bit of experience, and you're my brand new guy, and you throw that at me, and I'm going to say something like, Ron, let me ask you a question. You do want a good team one day, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, but you want to know this is correct, don't you? You want to know the concept is right, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to get a little confidence.
You want to get a little confidence. Well, the way you're going to get the most confidence is you're going to get confidence by putting me in front of your people. And you want to actually, Ron, do you think you could recruit better by yourself or you and me together?
Steve, I don't even know what I'm doing. I need you. I need your help.
Yeah, that's the point here. So what you do, and by the way, your friends, which are the ones we're going to be talking to, they know you don't know anything about this because they know what you do, right? I mean, you've been friends with them 5, 10, 15 years. And so what I want to suggest to you, you say something like this. You call your buddy Bob up and say, Bob, man, I've stumbled onto something I think could be absolutely unbelievable. You've got to meet the guy that I met. I want him to tell you the story. He's going to say, what is it? Look, I don't want to blow it. I don't know it well enough, but here's what I think you're going to get excited. And Bob, I've always respected you in business. I kind of want your opinion on this. I think you're going to get excited. And look, when can we get together with my buddy, my new friend? And then when we get together, you say, Bob, this is Steve. Steve, this is Bob. Bob is one of my best friends, Steve. Man, tell him what you told me. And I'm going to share the story. And Ron, what's going to happen is Bob is going to ask me a question you haven't even thought of. And you're going to hear the answer. And then he's going to ask me another question. And you're going to go, oh, wow, that's a good question. What's that? And then his wife is going to ask a question. And you're going to say, oh, crap, that's what's going to torpedo this deal. And then you're going to hear the answer. And you're going to go, oh, my gosh. And you're going to find out, Ron, number one, that there's not a question out there that if I don't know it, I can get the answer. And by the way, if I don't know it, I'm going to say something like, hey, you know what, Bob, that's a good question. I'll get back to you with the answer on that as soon as I can confirm that, okay? I think I know the answer, but I want to be 100% sure. Fair enough? And Ron, you know what I found out? People respect that. But let me tell you something else, Ron. What I want to encourage you to do is take advantage of this season when you don't know anything. Because once you've been doing this for 6 months, you can't say to your friend, you know, I don't know. You can't say to your friend, hey, you got to meet the guy that knows the answer to that. And so the way you're going to get, I know you want a crash course. The way you're going to get a crash course, let me encourage you to do this. Put me in front of the 10 best people you know. After you heard those 10 presentations, the questions they ask, the answers you're going to hear, you're going to be bulletproof. Let me tell you something else. I know you'd like to know everything up front, but Ron, if I gave you a videotape on how to swim, and then we put you in a swimming pool, what are your chances?
Love it.
Yeah, not very good, are they? If I gave you a videotape on how to ride a bike, are you gonna be able to ride a bike? No. The only way to learn to ride a bike, the only way to learn to swim is you get on the bike, somebody behind you pushing you, you get in the pool with a swim instructor, and likewise with our business, we're gonna go shoulder by shoulder, we're gonna go in the field, and we're going to meet them in the highways and the byways. You're going to bring them to the office. We're going to go to their homes. But you put me in front of the best people you know, you're going to get the best questions and answers that way. And man, by the time you've seen 10 presentations in the next 30 days, you're going to be strong. And before know it, you're going to know all the answers.
So, Steve, great job. And I want to end this part by saying this, you guys. When the brand new recruit comes in, they're always going to have their own mindset of what they think, how this thing probably ought to work. And the word leadership means, that you're somebody and they respect you and they go, okay, I will submit. I know you have my best interests. Let's go out and talk to these 10 people. I understand. I know, you don't have to wait till you know everything. Get in the pool. Let's teach you how to swim right now. So, Steve, great job. Thank you so much. You guys, this whole part of this is just real exciting to me because the opportunity is so dang big. Okay, so Michael, if you could switch the controls back over to me. What I want to cover now is, I'm sitting here with Joe and Susie again. And Joe and Susie, what I want to do now is I want to show you, let's talk about the money. Let's talk about a game plan. I'm talking about your why. And as we take a look, and hopefully you can all now see this, we've got 30, 35, 40, 45, 55% commission levels. And these are all the starting positions. And all these people, you want to aspire to become a regional manager. And I'm going to tell you this, Joe and Susie, you stick with me, you will become a regional manager. Pretty much that's a guarantee. You're going to get there with my help. We're going to do it together. I'm here with you. The only way you're not going to get here is you quit. And if you quit in the first year, Joe and Susie, I want you to know this. You quit in the first year, you didn't quit because you never even got started. If you wanted to be a doctor and you quit in the first year, you didn't quit being a doctor, you quit school. You gave up on you. And by the way, you want to go be a doctor, go spend $500,000 in 12 years of college. You can learn this business really well in a year, we'll call it. Maybe 2, call it. Now, let's talk about the income opportunity. We're going to get you here to 55%. Okay? You're just going to get there. I don't know if it's going to take you a month, and I don't know if it's going to take you a year and a half, but you're going to get here. Okay? And once you do, and you're in school still, you get to your average sale of $300 a month, which so many offices are higher than this, especially if you're doing the retirement side of this, not just the insurance. 2 sales a month. Joe and Susie are going to pay you $47,000 a year. And to me, you guys, right there, that's what we sell. Who do you know? Who in America would like to invest their time into a part-time job where a measly 2 sales a month, you could do it in a day, pays you $47,000 a year? You know what? When this happens to you in your life, you don't have to really take all the CRAP from your boss anymore. In fact, you can actually someday fire your boss. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay? Imagine this. What would life be like if you didn't have to ask permission to go to your kid's baseball game? Now, we're going to take this a step further, and we're going to start building this team together. We're building together. And we're going to build this to a total of 6 sales. Joe and Susie, you're doing 2 a month. You're going to get 4 people licensed. That's a 6 sales. And now look what happens to your income. Now you've got to taste the building. You got $47,000 from your efforts, but you're picking up another $30,000 from the efforts of others. And all I want to tell you here is welcome to the big leagues. Because see, if you have a job, J-O-B, you're never past this point right here. But once you decide to build a company and to do it right and to share and care about others and really to teach them this business, just in the beginning stages, you're picking up another $30,000 a year. And that is how wealthy people get wealthy. Rich people get wealthy from the efforts of other people. That's how the world works. So you could be a one-man show or you can build a company. Okay, now we're going to take it to the next step. So this is your part-time opportunity. And to me, if it stopped right there, and by the way, if you got somebody you're recruiting and they're making $25,000 a year, you can stop right here because the rest might blow them away. But for those of you that are bigger thinkers, I got to show you a little bit more of the big picture. Okay, let's go to the next page. The big picture starts at RVP, Regional Vice President. I think a real true regional vice president is going to take a year to a year and a half to get there. I know some people differ with that. I need to get everybody there as fast as possible. You know what? I'm going to say this. You don't really want to be an RVP. You want to be a successful RVP. You don't want to be a doctor when you don't know how to work all the tools, right? You might mess up the surgery. You might start killing people. See, a lot of people, if you start leading before you know what you're doing, you start killing your people. But the goal is to become a successful RVP by the FEG guidelines. Nobody gives it to you. If you give it to people, you're going to have a real weak organization. Now, RVPs, once you're an RVP, you got to think this way. You got to think success. One sale a week is $4 a month, $300 a month to target. One a week pays you $120,000 a year. And when you're in RVP, this is the first thing you got to do, because there's nothing worse than a broke RVP. You know, there's a certain stench that you look at them, you can tell they're broke. They're not excited about their life. They don't stand up straight. They're hunched over. Okay? You want to unhunch yourself over. You just go do one sale a week, and now you look in the mirror and you like yourself. You're at least you're making a living. In fact, you're making a better living than most American families right here. So it starts with you. You're an RVP. You got to succeed. Okay? Next. The next goal is you begin the process of building. So I'm going to show you the small leagues right here. And let's say, it takes you, let's say you're an RVP and it takes you, let's just call it 6 months to get here. If you can build, get 5 people licensed, and they each do one sale, so you got 5 licensed, and yourself, and you're doing one a week, and they're all doing one a month. I'll call that minimal activity. Now all of a sudden your income's $183,000 a year. By most American family standards, you're probably in the 90 percentile right now. And you did it because you led the way. You're not a broke RVP. You're a successful RVP. And these people here, they're following. You are the man or woman. They say, man, I want to grow up and be just like you. You know, you're doing it on your own. So now you got about a $60,000 of income from the efforts of others. But you know what? Here's the truth. You're going to work for it. Okay? You're an RVP. This is your agency right here. Now, as an RVP, I want you to start. I want to set a goal for you. I want to help you here. This is starting out, but here's where you want to get to. You want to build. If you want to be financially independent, here's what you got to do. You go build 10 regional managers, and they're building a team, and we're just going to go with a small number. 10 regional managers in your base shop doing 5 sales a month, and you're at $500,000. In fact, Steve, that is pretty darn close to your first year's number, and probably, pretty darn close. So all of a sudden, you're at $500,000 a year. In America, you're probably now at the 97 percentile. You are running. This is called your base shop right here. You're an RVP with no RVPs under you, and you're teaching others. You're showing people, by example, here's what a successful RVP does. A successful RVP builds regional managers. That's what, that's the vision. That's what you got to focus on, because look what happens to your income. I've had people say, well, I can go over here and get 75 or 78%. I can be a personal producer, get 80%. So what? You're still a personal producer. You're nowhere. We're talking about a chance to build freedom here. Now, this is your agency, but here's what happens when you do this right. You've built an example. You are the example. You've got 10 regional managers. A couple of them start getting up to 10 sales, 15 sales, 20 sales. And all of a sudden there comes a day when pop, you now pop your first RVP. That RVP, we'll call him Steve. So here's Steve, your first RVP. And he goes out there, he and his group, and they get to 30 sales a month. Okay? Now, you set the example here. Your base shop was at 58. He aspires to get here. But let's say that first month, he goes out there at 30 sales a month. Your override on that is 100,000. And all of a sudden, you're at 600,000. And all of a sudden, you've gone from doing what rich people do. You've made a step now. Now listen to me, please. You've gone from doing what rich people do to what wealthy people do. You've duplicated and croned yourself, and you're an RVP, and you got one RVP here. And you got a whole new kind of income called passive income. You've already done the work for this. If you've done it right, this guy's strong. He doesn't need you anymore. He'd be better off going out and getting his own office. And now you got 600,000 of income, but 100,000 of it is what I like to call passive income. Because the worst thing you could do is build an RVP that's totally still needs you for everything. And they're doing 2 sales a month and they're dying on the vine and everybody's watching them. And what do? You build there's 100,000 passive income. It begins, you guys. And you cannot tell me this is not possible. Let's keep going. You build 3 RVPs. And all of a sudden, and you can't quit up here. You can't quit on your one sale. You still are the leader. You're the pacemaker. If you quit, they quit. You go to 0, you watch this whole thing fall apart. But you're an RVP and you produce 3 RVPs doing 30. There's an extra 300. You're at $800,000 a year. You've gone from 95 percentile to probably 97.5 percentile in the world of income. And you get a call from Ron Blumenkemper and saying, congratulations. Congratulations, you've made senior vice president, and your 8% override, when I click this, goes from 8 to 11. Your 70 goes from 70 to 73. Your base shop income on the same production, $75,000 raise here, and you got about $125,000 raise here, and you're at $1 million of income. I'm going to go back. I just got to show this to you one more time. And RVP does this. RVP, 148 sales, the income's 800. And SVP does the same 148 sales, and that income. To me, this is the dream right here. That's a $200,000 a year raise. Now, I know some of you, it's dangerous sometimes to show big numbers, but I'm going to do it. If you recruit 3, you build 3 RVPs, and let's just say eventually they each get 3. There's an extra $233,000 in your pocket. You're at $1.2 million. More than half your income comes from other successful people that don't need you every single day just to get by. And eventually they each promote 1. And I'm trying to build huge numbers here. And you got 3 third generations, and you get a call, and you're at 1.4 million and said, man, you are an MVP, national vice president. You're going from 73 to 76. And by the way, yes, you're still building a base shop. You are still the pacemaker. You stop, the whole dang thing stops. Now let's go back. Let's see what that raise was. SVP, 328 sales, 1.4. MVP, 1.8. Not bad. That's about a $450,000 raise. And you guys, this is the dream right here. And one of the things I learned from Steve Little, because in the early days when Steve first came in, I spent a ton of time with Steve on the income calculator. And by the way, I want to tell Al Carty how I think's on this. Thank you for building this thing for us, by the way. To me, this defines what to do right here. Build a base shop, lead by example, get 10 doing 5 right here, spin off successful RVPs, and change your life. Now, you guys, I can keep going. I can keep going here. You know, there's a lot of low. I'm just going to click this 1 second, just so you see. Same sales. You move yourself up, 4.2 million. Whoa. Whoa. So you guys, we got a multi-million-dollar opportunity here. We'll never run out of market. Do you think Prudential went out of business because your team did 328 sales? I was in Florida last week and spent some time with some really good people. And, you know, the state of Florida is completely wide open. And I was kind of shocked at how big that state is and all the traffic jams and just people everywhere. And I go, man, I'm in the middle of an absolute gold mine. But I got good news for everybody on the phone. It doesn't matter where you're at. You are absolutely in the middle of a gold mine. So with that said, Michael, can you bring up the FEG website real quick and switch this over to you? I love sharing this part with you guys. Hey, I got my dog here next to me. Hi, boss. Okay. Michael, you there?
Yep, I'm here, Patrick. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So guys, now what I want to do is I want to start showing you, and by the way, you can download this income calculator from the FEG website. Okay.
All right.
My internet hadn't been working too good today, so I'm going to have Michael. And by the way, Michael, when you're done, we're going to turn it over to Jeff Wardell for a minute.
Okay, perfect.
So Michael, on our website, if you could go to the home page.
And it looks so much better, by the way.
Cool. By the way, you guys, Andre Mua and Gillis, they both hit the Michael, where's those things across the top? You're on our website. You're in our back office. I just want to go to the FEG website real quick.
Oh, the front page?
Yeah, the website itself, FEG, www.freedom. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So you guys, we're talking about tools. Michael, if you could just click where it says opportunity here. Okay. You guys, on our website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is just click it. We're not going to listen to it, but click on the opportunity here real quick. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there is the FEG opportunity meeting. And so all you got to do is click it. If you're brand new and you don't know anything and you're on vacation with your relatives in Florida, you could actually share the whole thing with them by clicking this. Point your iPad at them, point your computer at them, click the opportunity, and it's about 22 minutes long. You can show them the opportunity. It's a tool. So if you don't know what to say, use the tool. By the way, it's way better to go out with your upline. 1,000 times better. But if you don't have the opportunity to do that, just know you can click the button And by the way, you can click the button, listen to it a couple times, and become familiar with the words and the verbiage. Michael, go back if you could click that opportunity one more time. There's another thing in here that I think y'all ought to look at. There's a video made by AIG FEG. This is just a great video that shares a lot. You know, what I like the most about this video is it shows a lot of the different FEG people. So these are some of your tools. Go to FEG people if you could. This is something we're going to have to add a lot of videos to right now, just because, and we're willing to drive to our office. We've got Joel de Guzman and Neil. They both are very business, so you can show them successful people. There will be a day when there'll be 20 more of these things on here. Okay? So guys, that's on the FEG, www.freedomequitygroup.com, tools on our website. Now, the next thing I like to do, Michael, is switch it over now to Jeff Wardell. He'll be our speaker. And Jeff, you guys, Jeff was instrumental in the early days of the company, helped us set up the what I'm calling the FEG replicated website. And so, to me, the FEG, when you pay $125, you get a digital office and you get a replicated website. And so Jeff's going to go take maybe 20 or 25 minutes and talk to you about, okay, here's my replicated website. There's so much knowledge in there. The purpose of the replicated website is to give you knowledge and tools to help you get strong in this business. So, Jeff, are you, Michael, are we hooked up with Jeff?
I'm here, Ron.
Okay, and do you have the controls?
I believe I do. You should be looking at my screen. You should be looking at the Freedom Equity Group homepage. Well, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay.
And a privilege.
Well, Jeff, I had an exciting call with you last night. Jeff had something like 127 recruiting appointments last week with his group, so that's definitely going to the right direction. Anyway, Jeff, share a little bit about our tools. I'll turn it over
Ron.
to you. Proud of what you're doing right now, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. What I'd like to do is to have everybody grab a pen and a paper. I want to move this from presentation to a workshop. And we want to walk through this. When you get somebody involved, you tell them about what we do. Let me get to the bare bones grassroots of what we do. What we do in regards to the product is we're sharing one of the most complex financial vehicles ever devised known to mankind. And how can you take that wisdom and knowledge and stuff it in the brains of somebody? The challenge is if you attempt to do so, you're going to create what I call analysis paralysis. They're going to just sit down and go, oh my gosh, they're right now completely overwhelmed, and they'll stop. And that'll stop your momentum, it'll stop your progression, and we don't want that to happen. And we came across this problem years ago, and what can we do to simplify the process as you're building so that you can empower the people that you're talking to share what we do in your absence? Because if you can empower that, then you can create momentum where you can actually have 10, 15, 20, 30 people out sharing the same information on the very same day, and you can orchestrate that. You then manage that growth. And so what we did is we figured out a way through the minefield. And so let's just take a quick walk through this process. When you sign up a brand new person and they get their FEG number, they have this replicated platform that shares everything that Petro is talking about, everything that you heard Steve talking about, everything you hear the leaders talk about. I'll throw out some names with Al Carty, Wayne Womack, Dave Weiner. These are the pioneers. Joel de Guzman. These are the pioneers that put this foundation together along with the three owners. And so you sign someone up, they have access to that within seconds. And so here's your process. From freedomequitygroup.com, you're going to click on the agent login page, and do this with every brand new person the minute they get their FEG number, which is the minute they swipe their credit card, they have access to this. And they click on that, it takes them to this login page with their either FEG number or their email address and their password that they chose. Click on login. It'll take you into the ETS, Elite Tracking System, kind of a cool phrase that Petro and the guys came up with. And you have access to everything. And you can walk them through all these tabs, and this is not a back office training. But in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to have their name. And there's a drop-down menu. And right from here, it's Edit My Info. And when you click on that tab, now a lot of you, this may be redundant. Yeah, I know this. Well, the new person doesn't. And when you get them started, it's when you get them into the vehicle, you got to teach them how to drive the car. You got to say, this is the key, that's the ignition, this is, first gear, second gear, third gear. This is where the blinkers are. And if you give them that tutorial day one, then they can operate the vehicle when you're not there. So you can empower them that they can actually start sharing this with people immediately, even without you. And it's an exciting process. So Edit My Info takes them right here and about halfway down the page. Update personal info, make sure their personal information is correct. But it says My Website Information. And the system was established to have their name first. Every other company that might have any type of a replicated process, it features the company first, then the individual or a number. Not so with Freedom Equity Group. We can personalize this back office or this replicated website to the individual. They put their name, whatever username they want, if they've got a company name, some catchy catchphrase, but it's their name first. Then Freedom Equity Group, because Freedom Equity Group doesn't work without this new individual, and we want to empower them. And then, their name, address, and phone number. And right down at the bottom is where they can upload their own family photograph, a picture, a logo, or something that they want to have on their website. Click on Update Website Info. Now their site is established and set up, and they can go to theirname.freedomequitygroup.com. And this is where the traction begins. Now, as I walk through this, please remember, each upline CEO, each upline leader, they may teach different ways to use the vehicle. They may say, do it this way or do it that way. And I want to preface, it's incredibly important that you follow the direction of your coach. And so I may say something that may be a little bit different than what they're maybe saying. Don't listen to me. I'm going to try and keep this as generic as I possibly can, because here's the exciting thing about what we have. You can't do this wrong. There's no wrong way to do this. There used to be 2 million licensed agents in this country. Now, because of the housing bust and the dot-com bust, is less than 300,000 active licensed agents. The average age is 60. 25% of those are going to retire this year. There's 250 million adult Americans in this country. Every single person needs to know about this opportunity. And even if all 300,000 licensed agents knew everything we know, and they don't, 80% don't know all this. Even if they do, there's no way that they can reach 2.5 million people. We need more feet on the street to tell the story. And as long as you get the story out there, as long as you say, here, check it out, look, 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 now you can, on your own, create your own momentum. Get the information out. There's no wrong way, as long as you'll just be courageous enough to say, look at this. Freedom Equity Group has built a system where a blind dog with a note in his mouth could accomplish this if you bumped into enough people who would read the note. Watch this. Petra just showed it from freedomequitygroup.com. We can actually show you how to do this from your own personalized website, and you get 2 of them. I'm going to start with yourname.freedomequitygroup.com. You have the home page, which when you click on the home page, it just brings you back to this screen. You can go to freedomequitygroup.com from here, and we have several crusades. And I'm not going to go through each of these, but we have our Living Benefit Crusade. There's validation there that proves that living benefits are real and that they work. Our Tax-Free Crusade, is it really tax-free and does it work? Sure. Our Income Crusade, listening to people about how much income they're earning. Our leadership. Getting started, it just tells you to go into the back office, and they can join your team directly from here when you click on Join Me. Now, be proud of the fact that Freedom Equity Group has been on TV. Who can say that? You got to say that. Been on Fox Business News. We got a 1-minute overview and a 6-minute documentary on these living benefits we give to people. Scrolling down further, this page was established to help you build your team. There are 4 videos here. Why 4? Well, we found out through process that 3 wasn't enough and 5 was too many. That's why there's 4. Keeping it as simple as we can. You have a 2-minute overview on indexing. How does indexing work? Tony Robbins wrote a 600-page book on the topic. Invest like the wealthy. You have a 2-minute video that explains that. Then our crusade. What's the crusade? What do we do? Petro showed you the opportunity overview of what we do. Well, that's right here, video number 3. That's our overview. And then you have our chairman who is there saying, join our company. And I'm here to tell you this, is that you can share this from day one. You don't need your upline CEO to share this information and say, go to my website and look at this. Better yet, here's how this system was built. And a lot of us don't know this. Is you can control the content of what you give to your prospective new recruit. You want to share something. Maybe you like video number 3 the best. I want to just share that. Every single video on this system has its own unique specific address, which means that you can send to that individual one specific video. Which one? The one you like the most, or the one your upline leader says, show this first. I know Al tells his people, are you in front of your computer? How about this? You can identify which video you like the most, hover over that video, maybe it's this one, use your right mouse button, or if you're on your cell phone, I'll talk about that in a second, you touch and hold that, but right mouse button, and you can copy that link address and email that to someone. And so I'll just go ahead and click on copy that link address. I'm going to open up a brand new browser, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that. And you'll see that that particular video is the only thing that they get. They're not going to YouTube. They're not going to go to, and it automatically starts playing, by the way. They're not going to go anywhere else. You get to control the path that they walk on. You don't want to vomit on people's feet, so we can be very specific about what we give to your prospective individual. And here's, again, the exciting thing is not what you give, is that you give. There is so much information on these sites. You can't mess it up. The hardest part is just having the guts to share it with somebody. Will you share this? You heard Steve talk about the chairman's promotion that's coming up, the next contest. Did you know all you have to do is recruit 15 people and you're at that party the day before convention? There's a challenge out right now to everybody I'm working with. Everybody needs to be at that party. Everybody. You can earn this if you'll start sharing this with the people you know, love, and care about. Grab what you like, because remember this, if you're passionate about something, get it from your head to your heart. When you're passionate about something, you will tell everybody. Find your passion. Now, this site right here, again, talks about recruiting, talks about building your team. When people say, well, this sounds great, tell me more about the product. I don't have my leader with me. Well, we help people retire with dignity. Click on that link. It takes you to a whole nother website platform that is focused only on product. Product only. In fact, the only thing here that talks about building or recruiting is see our crusade or join me. This is the traction of how these products work. 4 more videos. First video is a 5-minute overview of Patrick Kelly's tax-free retirement book. Proves that tax-free is real. The second video, in less than 5 minutes, it points out where in the IRS code it says these programs are tax-free and how they earn their rate of return. So in less than 10 minutes, anybody can prove that tax-free is real and legal. The third, there's lots of living benefit videos. This is Chris's story. Pick one. You can go back up to the living benefits tab and grab one of the videos you like. Remember, hover over it, right click, copy that address, and send just what you are passionate about to an individual. And the 4th video is Petro again explaining how this IUL works, just the product. so that anybody from any walk of life can prove that tax-free savings and living benefits is real, it's legal, and it works. So what you're able to do is, as you are starting a brand new individual and getting them involved in your team, you can empower them to stand tall, stand proud, knowing that they're sharing the same information that you're sharing, that the person in Washington or Arizona or Alaska or Arkansas, pick your state, they're showing the same information. So you can duplicate your efforts, duplicate the ability to earn an income anywhere, and empower them to get started and get going right away. Now we're going to make them better. There's a savings calculator. When you click on that, there's 5 boxes. We found that that was the best calculator to work to help people find their number until they're really comfortable or confident with doing the financial needs analysis. But there's also the financial needs analysis. You can download it from that page. Again, follow what your upline trainer is teaching you to do, duplicate it, copy it, because if you're going to walk through a minefield, follow somebody who's already been through it. They'll get you through it faster, safer, more efficiently, and this platform and this process can literally make you $100,000 in 6 months. This is something that has been being done over and over and over again. I cannot emphasize this more importantly, is if you'll just take the system, take the tools, take your replicated website, personalize it, get your picture up there, and start getting it to the people you know, love, and care about. It will take off for you like never before. We have the biggest opportunity in the biggest industry on the planet. And right now is your opportunity, because people need to save money. People need to earn an income. Things are tough. Things are challenging. Well, remember this, is the fire that burns one warms another. Or in any adverse or negative situation lies the seed of an equal or greater benefit, and Freedom Equity Group is bringing it to you. So those are our systems. That's the back office. That is our replicated websites. Petro, I'm on fire. I'm excited. We're taking this to places we've never seen. So I'll turn it back over to you, and thank you so much for the opportunity and privilege to share this morning. I appreciate it. Petro, did we lose you? Well, I've got no sound on my end, Michael. I hope we're still live. And we may have lost Petro because of the internet coming in and out. Well, everybody's saying we're live, but I'm the only one being heard. Michael, I don't know who we need to turn this over to. Where's that? This is the awkward silence during a TV show where everything goes dark. So we'll do some colorful commentation here until Petro comes back on. If there's any specific questions on the tools, please remember what I had said earlier. There's no wrong thing to do, because nobody's out there doing it. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be good. If you'll just have the courage and go out and share it, it'll change your world. So I think if we got Petro back, Ron, can you hear us?
You know what, Jeff? I lost audio on myself. I got kicked off of it. And Petro's audio is coming back on now, potentially, it looks like. But I do believe the storm is knocked their internet in and out a little bit in AG.
Oh, okay. Well, until we have him back, I know he can cut back in. What I can do is just walk through a few more aspects of the replicated website, of the tool that allow you to duplicate your efforts. Copy it. We can make cookie cutters of what this system will share. I can't copy Steve Little. There's only one of those guys. So I can't duplicate him, but we can duplicate a process and a system. And that's what we have our hands on, and that's why we're talking about this today, is the onboarding. I believe we have Petro back. Ron, can you hear us?
Yes. Could you hear me?
You're loud and clear. There we are.
Wow, I don't know what happened. I could hear you the whole time, and so I hung up my phone and redialed back in. Hey, Jeff, before we get off the replicated website, I'd like to I can still see your screen, which is perfect because I've got some
Yes.
computer problems here. If you could just move it up a little bit, or I'd like to go over. I just want to show everybody. Could you click on that living benefit tab real quick, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There we go.
You guys, for the brand new recruit, I'd just like to go through and just tell you why is some of this stuff even in here, okay? The video on the far left by Dr. Marius Bernard, I think it's just really, really important that you watch this because the first time I ever watched it, it absolutely hit my heart because it was the first time I ever really saw with my eyes somebody that had cancer, that had to, this poor mom had to work until the day she was dead. And I felt so sorry for her, and it created a crusade inside my heart. And so this video right here by Dr. Marius Bernard had a lot to do with this FEG company being where it's at today. And I just think that everybody at least needs to watch it a couple times. My second favorite video on living benefits is Chris's story. Chris is a dad with adult children who gets cancer and doesn't even realize his policy has living benefits. Haphazardly just tells his agent, hey, I got cancer. The guy goes, you're kidding. You got living benefits. They sent him a check for $600-something thousand, changed his life. He lived. So many people die when they have cancer because they don't have any money to fund all the healing and all that mental strain of losing the home and going bankrupt. Jessica's story, the next video, a young mom gets cancer. Amy's story, one of our agents, FEG agent client. These are the things that changed my life. These stories, and so they're there for you to watch. Jeff, if we could go back up a little bit, that's the first tab I want to point out to you. And Jeff, if we could go back. Oh, okay, we'll go here. Click on the FEG 401k fallout if you could. Okay, and go down to the videos if we could. Okay. You guys, there's 6 videos here on the subject of the IRA versus the 401k. And the third one in here, Rick Buettner, I've actually met with him. I called him out of the blue and met with him. He calls it the $6 trillion scam. Calls the 401k a scam. I call the 401k a dum-dum plan. Not saying that if you have one, you're a dum-dum, but I'm just saying what it does to you, I think is dumb. I'm going to have a retirement plan that's fully taxable at a future tax rate when my government's in debt. That's dumb. I'm going to have a retirement plan totally at risk. That's dumb. I'm going to have a retirement plan where my fee is average 3% and just 2% takes half my retirement away. That's dumb, right? So I learned something from this video. I learned down here on the bottom right, Jeff, maybe you can point to that one, bottom right. This is the guy that runs Time Magazine and interviewing and talking about the scam of the 401k. However, by the way, here's one on 60 Minutes, top right, 60 Minutes, talking about 401k. You know what? The next time the market crashes and America is just hurting, guess what? Our clients don't hurt at all. That market went down and we did a reset, and now we got a chance to make real money. Market crashes help our clients, you guys. But out of all of them, my favorite is the second one in. Jeff, if you could put your cursor on that one, that second one in. It's 3 minutes long. And I'll never forget the first time I watched this video, I just about fell out of my chair. And this is a video that I think every single person in FEG needs to be aware of. You need to know what's in the video, and you need to share this. Share this video with anybody who has a 401k. And if they like their 401k after they watch this, play it one more time because they didn't listen. And if they don't listen after 2 or 3, 4 times, see, here's the bottom line: if you want to give half your retirement to Wall Street, then you should. If you want to participate in the dumb plan, then you should. But this video just absolutely blew my mind at the consumer message. So Jeff, if we could go back just a couple other videos I want to share. The annuity tab, if you could push on that annuity tab. And Alice, I know you were on here for a second. If you're still on, send me a text. Maybe we could unmute you for a second. But so here's all. What's that?
She is on.
Oh, Michael, if you can unmute Alice, it'd be great. I know she's at a volleyball tournament, but anyway, annuity videos. This first video here, top left video, Jeff, you need to watch this video. It's so important. The guaranteed income. No other product does guaranteed incomes. You know, guys, every week somebody sells an annuity and makes $5, $10, $15, $20, $60, $70,000 on a sale. You got the tools here to communicate the message. If you don't know the message, play the video. Doesn't that give you a lot of confidence as a new person? Here's Lindsey Byram. He does an incredible job. Play this video. Watch this video. You know, listen to the message. It's incredible. Joel the Guzman on the bottom right. You know, Joel probably last year made $500,000 selling annuities. So listen to this stuff. Also, when it comes to annuities, everybody, I want you to understand, you don't have to be an expert. I want you to write this number down. Once you have a license and you get appointed with at least one of our annuity carriers, you have our whole back office at Unkifer. You have a whole crew there to help you in annuity business, and you call 800-523-5851. 800-523-5851. And you can call them and say, hey, I'm an FEG agent. I'm new at annuities. I've never made my first sale. I've got a client who's 60 years old, has a $500,000 401k. He's retired. He doesn't know what to do with the money. He's interested in a guaranteed income. Not today. Call it today. What's the best product for guaranteed income? He wants income right now. Guaranteed lifetime income. Or it might be he wants a guaranteed lifetime income starting at age 67. What's the best product for a guaranteed income starting at age 67? You tell them what your client needs, and they're going to email you what you need. They're going to get you everything. We have a whole service center for annuities. So please understand there's an annuity tab here that's awesome. Jeff, if you could go back up, I'll have you go through the savings calculator. We've got over on the left here a savings calculator. Just some great information in the savings calculator. So, Jeff, I'll let you do this one. You're the one that taught me.
Thanks, Ron. Now, here's what's important with the savings calculator is you have to get a policy in the hands of your new recruit, your new agent. Why is that so important? Because honestly, if you're going to sell Toyotas, don't drive a Honda. People won't believe you. And that's where the money is earned. And so can you require a new agent to buy a policy? No, you cannot. That's illegal. It's called illegal inducement. We don't walk down that path. However, I will not spend my time with an individual who refuses to get their own policy. And that policy is sold by you, the recruiting agent. Even if they're licensed, or I'll just go ahead and buy my own plan. That's not our business model. Well, that's okay. I'm licensed. I'll just go ahead and get my own policy. You know, that's not our business model. You buy that from the recruiting agent. Well, I won't do it that way. I appreciate that. Let me know when you're serious and ready, and I'm here for you. Be kind, be nice, but don't give him any of your time, because that mentality will be duplicated. And so what we did is we went through and we needed to find something that allowed a brand new person who can't even spell IUL to go through and get a policy in the hands of their new recruit without me being there. That was the hard part because there wasn't enough of me to slice and dice and to go out there. And so we went through hundreds of calculators and we found the one that worked. Because what you want to do is create an emotion in somebody. And if you can share with them where they are is bad, they will move on their own to where you want them to go. All you have to do is play catch. And so with this right here, it's very, very simple. You talk to your brand new recruit, and you can do this over the phone. And by the way, this works on your cell phone. I forgot to mention that. And I'll show a responsive piece real quickly. But how old are they? I spoke to a gentleman yesterday. He's 46 years old. I said, okay, when do you want to retire? The new retirement age is 70, not 65, they say, but what's a good retirement age for you? He said, yeah, you're right, 70 is probably good. I've had 20-year-olds say I want to retire at 60. It's important with this calculator, whatever they say is the right answer. It's about them because everybody can do this. Then when they get to that age, future amount needed, not how much per month, but a big pile of money. How much do you think would be enough to get you through retirement? This is where they stop and they go, they don't know. Nobody's talking about it. It's the elephant in the room. 55% of Americans last year didn't even save a penny. Not that they couldn't, just no one's asking them to. So how much do you think you need? 90% we found over the last 7-8 years since we've been using this calculator will say $1 million. I want $1 million. Yeah, me too. And believe it or not, $1 million over a 30-year retirement will give you about 50, 60 grand a year. That might be enough, maybe. Next step, we're going to show you an 8% rate of return. Does that sound fair? Most people will say yes. I talked to a banker one time. He goes, I think that looks awful high. We needed to have a system that proves 8% is fair. So hover over the green question mark and you will see, since 1926, before the Great Depression, large stocks have averaged 10%, if you can see that. Small stocks have averaged 12%. This is indexing, stock market gains. So now, is 8% fair? And people say, no, I want the 12. Me too. But we can underpromise and overdeliver. And now guess what? I made 8% a duplicatable piece of wisdom and knowledge. You don't have to know what I know to do what I do. Tax bracket. What's your tax bracket? Don't know? Green question mark. You'll see that the 2019 brackets are already up. This is a powerful tool that also tells your new prospective agent that we're on the cutting edge. We're on the front edge of this. When people say Freedom Equity Group is the competition, we are. There's no other company out there that has a platform like this, that has a foundation that'll carry the biggest momentum movement you want. So pick your tax bracket. Most people, they're going to be between 20 to 30%, whatever they say. Let's just keep it at 25% and click on submit. That's it, 5 boxes. Scroll down and look at the monthly savings box. So I can see this 47-year-old needs to save, based on what he wants, $1,547 a month. Now, how do you think he feels about that? I guarantee you panic is ensuing in his mind because people really, truly think they can retire in what they're doing and or not doing because they don't know. Their head's in the sand. And this is like 95% of Americans. If you wait a year to start saving, it's $1,600 a month, then $1,800, then $19,000, then up to $2,000 a month. The longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. But here's the fun part. They watched our video, right? You shared that with them. You were able to right-click and just send them just one. This is tax-free and it's real stuff. Can they tax what we do? It's in that less than 5-minute video for 101 and 7702. They can't tax us. We're the tax-free people. Put in a 0 because we're the tax-free folks and re-click submit. And instead of $1,500 a month, it's $1,100 a month. We can get you there cheaper because there's no taxes in the mix. But notice if you wait a year to start, it's $1,200 a month, then $1,300, then $1,500 again, and you're backed up to almost $2,000. The longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. And we know that they can't do this, but this is whose idea? It's theirs. They're panicking. They're thinking in their mind, I'm going to have to work at Walmart and work till I die. I'll never be able to retire. It's panic. And just say, well, their idea. You should be doing $1,100 a month. And it's really cool if they say, yeah, I can afford that, sign them up. Most people know. Can you afford that? No, and they're panicking. And just agree, I can't do what this tells me I should do either. How much of that, Mr. New Recruit, how much of that do you think you could do? Here's what we found. 80% of the people out there will say half of whatever that first figure is. Half. I can do about half of that. So about, what, $550, $500, $600 a month? Yeah, about that. And you ask one more question, just say, are you sure? Because you don't want to start something today that you can't do all the time. Are you sure? And a lot of times they'll cut that in half again. Sometimes they'll say, I can do $100. You say, are you sure? The minute they say yes, yeah, I'm positive I can do that. I was with Rosie one time with a new agent in Orange County, and the guy's first figure was $30,000 a month based on what he thought he wanted. Can you do that? He said, no. How much of that can you do? He said, I could do about 20. We said, are you sure? Now, I can do a financial needs analysis in my sleep. I've been doing this 30 years. But we had a brand new person in the room who was so intimidated, I needed to use something that she could copy. So we just did this. And we said, are you sure? He said, no, 15. I know I can do 15. That's about half. He says, I'm positive I can do 15. Great. Write it up. Let's get you approved. It's whatever they say is the right number. So if they say I can do half of that, 500, are you sure? They cut it in half again, 250. Are you positive? Yeah, I know I can do 250. Great. Sign them up. And here's only two ways to join our company. You can have this program, or you can have this program and make an extra $5,000 to $7,000 a month part-time, and I just showed you how to do it. Here's something else I found with the simple needs analysis. When I go through that A to Z, in most cases, it is less money than what this tells them they should be doing. And right here with the monthly savings, they're starting at a higher bar. And I don't have to sell them anything. It was their idea. They're coming down from a bigger number. Now all I have to do is teach my new recruit how to do an e-app, how to order the APFs or the paramed, and do the field underwriting. And we're off to the races. Do your illustration. We're ready to go duplicate the process. Now, we're going to make you better because the financial needs analysis is much more complete. But until a person is confident in doing this, here's just what I found. Is they're too scared to ask their family and friends, what's your debt? What's your income? How much money are you making? What's your credit card debt? And if you're confident asking, they may not be confident answering. So we've found a faster, simpler way to help a person get a policy and duplicate the process. Now, here's what's fun about this is the last thing I'll cover, Petro, is this is a responsive system. The entire Replicator website works on your cell phone. And it looks like this. It's small and skinny, and so we go, well, where's the menu? It's this three little lines. It's on your cell phone. Some people call it the hamburger, but if you click on that, there's your menu. You can scroll down, and here's all those menu items that Ron just walked you through. There's Retire with Dignity, product only. You can click between recruiting and product only, but this is a responsive system, so no longer do you have to say, are you near a computer? Is, hey, we're at the coffee shop. You're near my cell phone. Watch this. Get it in the hands of people, duplicate the process, get them a policy, share with them that they can copy this and give it to the next 10 people, and let's not walk, let's sprint, shall we? So, Petro, this is an exciting day. I'll give the controls back to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to wait till my screen so you guys can see my screen. So give me a sec here. Then have that little box. Okay. So I know you can't see my screen yet, everybody, but I'm going to start talking about what I want to talk about. You guys, what we found over all the years is a lot of people come in and get all excited. And there's a lot of people, they're excited. They wouldn't have spent $125 if they weren't excited. And for a moment in time, their brain said, yes, you can do this. But, but a lot of people, they end up, I call it the death of their dreams. And what happens is they come in, they're excited, they open their mouth, they say the wrong thing, and they go, oh, I can't do this, I quit. Okay? So on this sheet that I'm showing you here, I want to talk to you a little bit about human nature. So over here on this side of the sheet is your prospect list. On the other side of the sheet is the opportunity presentation. Whether it's in an office, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's just you push a button and you show it online. Until people see the whole opportunity, they're going to be saying no. Like, let's just say you walked up to somebody, hey, Joe, you want to sell life insurance? No. Well, he didn't get to see the opportunity. You totally screwed it up. So you got to be careful about what you say and what you don't say. So in the beginning, everybody, when you're brand new in the business, if you open your mouth the wrong way, you lose. And why is that? Because people jump to conclusions. Want to sell life insurance? No. Nobody with a brain wants to sell life insurance, right? So people are going to jump to conclusions. You got to be careful what to say and not say, and you got to learn to entice and withdraw. And so Steve talked about it a little bit earlier. Hey, Joe, it's Ron Petro. How you doing? Good. Hey, listen, I've been thinking about you for a while. I'm in a new business. I'm looking for partners. I need to sit down with you for 15, 20 minutes. When can we meet? I think face-to-face, absolutely. Well, Ron, what is it? I'm pretty darn busy. Well, I can't tell you over the phone. If I could, I would. It's too big. See, I'm enticing and withdrawing. I'm not sure, Steve, you're going to like this. Might not be for you, but you might know the right person. I need sharp people. I'm looking for partners. We need to learn how, when you don't spill out all the information, you're using curiosity as a hook to reel them in. So we have to learn how to master the invitation by using curiosity, and we have to understand that some will, some won't. So what? Most of your best friends aren't going to join you. Your brother or sister probably not going to join you. And they don't even want you to succeed because they want you to stay broke with them. So here's what I want to say. Don't mix the invitation with the presentation. In fact, maybe we can get Austin Little on the next one of these. He does such a good job on how to invite people. Guys, here's the bottom line. Don't say too much. Use curiosity. When you use curiosity, you remain in control. The second you try to give too much information on the phone, you know what it leads to? I'm going to go right back up. You give too much information on the phone, your dream is dead, you quit. And so many great people that could have had wonderful careers quit. So, last part of this, and then we're going to turn over to Dave Weiner and talk a little bit about vision. I'm going to take about 5 or so minutes, maybe 10 minutes. When you join the company, I'm now going into the FEG back office. By the way, Gillis and Andre hit the CEO bonus pool. There's probably an extra $15,000, $20,000 a month each for the month in the form of a bonus check. Andre, his background, no high school diploma, worked at McDonald's. Okay? Now, go to the menu, and here's your back office, and you paid for it. So one of the things that we did is we said, okay, brand new agent comes in, let's build them a new agent starter kit. So in your starter kit, you got some tools here for getting started. Here's your business builder's book. I think you can right-click this thing and print it out. You paid for it. There it is. If you want to spend $20, you can go to FEG and buy one. But this is a digital book. Kind of cool. You can just, push the pages by clicking. So here's the whole book. And this is the book that teaches you how to build your business. Okay? I go back here. Here's where you can get your E&O coverage. I don't have a license. How do I study? Well, it's right here. Here's the company we recommend. You've got a new agent kit here. I'm not going to click on it because it takes a while. And you even have a follow-up interview, some paperwork you can download here, paperwork you can use with the brand new recruit. So my recommendation to a new agent would be become familiar with your tools. Now over here are your videos. Here's a welcome video. I welcome the new recruit into the company. It's probably it's probably something worth. We made it for you. New agent quick start. Win big with FEG. I think there's about 5 or 6 videos here. Vision of the company. by Ron Blumenkemper, Our Crusade. Here's the client presentation, simplified. So, tools. You don't know how to do a client presentation, click here, click right here, and you got the client presentation. So these are just tools to, once again, to help you build your business. FEG tools at your fingertips. IUL universities, a lot of people, you guys, they're just kind of scared. Oh, look at this. Our last university, we had 1,156 people watch this. So congratulations, people are using our tools. So this is a complete how to sell IUL. We've got 4 universities up there. Yes, they're all a little bit different, but they're basically the same. And as you can see, we've had thousands of FEG people. This is the kind of thing that you can actually play in your office. This is the kind of thing a brand new recruit can turn off the television and pretend they're in medical school and take a course. And you take enough of these courses and you get good at this, man, you could. How'd you like to be the guy we're talking about with a $500,000 first-year career? And then I want to point this out to you. To me, maybe, just maybe, the most important video is right here. Out of all the tools we have, this is the one tool, I'm going to open it up, that I think every brand new recruit needs to watch. And I think every brand new recruit, you need to watch it with them. Because you have to teach people what to say and what not to say. And here it is. Jeff and I did this video, I'd say maybe even a couple years ago. Out of all the tools, this one right here, this one tool, I recommend you watch this with your new recruit so that they don't all quit before they start. Now, other than that, the next we got DOL guidelines, which I think are going to go away. We got a little bit about compliance, home office contact information, company updates, FEG, kind of the rules of the company, the policies and the procedures. So this is your back office. So guys, kind of summarizing, you pay $125. You get a replicated website. Jeff did a great job showing you through that. Personalize it to yourself. It's yours. So much information in there. Then you got this replicated website, your new agent kit. If you go down here to your tools and your downloads, and we click on live sales, here's your flip chart, all the stuff you need, the needs analysis, the IU closing sheet, the presentation. Just click on it and download it. Pretty cool stuff. You've got, for tools and downloads, you got your closing tools, annuity tools, recruiting tools, agent training, AIG product training, fiduciary, information on the ESP. So there's a lot of stuff. Here's all your carrier contracts, pay grids, internal forms, lots of stuff in here. Doesn't do your new recruit any good if you don't let them know about it. FEG store, FEG shirts, hats, all the rest. FEG TV, lots of information there. So so here's the bottom line. Lots of tools. So question, Alice Comer, are you on with us right now? She might not be. I know she's at a tournament. How about Dave Weiner?
She just got off Petro.
Oh, okay. Text her and tell her I'm sorry. And how about Dave Weiner? Are you here, Dave? Let me see if he's here.
I just unmuted him, Petro. Just unmuted him.
Hey, Petro.
Okay. Mr. Dave, how you doing?
I am doing great.
Going to be seeing you real soon in Cabo San Lucas.
And then you're going to spend a few days in St. Louis.
Yes, I fly home on Saturday and fly to St. Louis on Sunday. but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about going out and seeing your operation. So anyway, everybody, Dave and I and FEG, we've worked together for 6, 7, 8 years, or maybe even longer. It might be 10 years, might even be 15 years. I don't remember, but it's been a while. And Dave is a close friend. And I've watched David go, everybody, from a traditional life insurance agent. I've watched him make in 1 year $1.4 million with his own pen. So this guy knows how to sell IUL. But I've also seen him go from a one-man show and maybe onesie-twosie recruits. I've seen him go to a monstrous operation where they're recruiting about 150 people a month. And I've seen David's vision grow to where he says, Ron, I think we can do 200 billion of premium, or is it million? 200 million of premium. And so I asked Dave to close out the meeting today to talk about the big picture. What kind of opportunity do we have in this industry? What's the big picture here? And where do we have a chance to take this company? So Dave, appreciate you spending your time. I turn it over to you to kind of end this webinar.
Thank you, Ron. You know, I'm a huge fan of Mark Cuban, and I'm sure everyone here that's ever looked at a television set, you know, Cuban came from nothing. I mean, at one point before he sold his company, when he started from scratch, the guy used to go into McDonald's and his meal was eating the ketchup out of a ketchup thing, open it up and eat the ketchup. I mean, he lived at his friends' houses and he scrapped and he says you're supposed to do different things to get that vision set. And one of the things he suggested is, when you don't have anything, go look at something that you want, or look at something that you're going to do or want to do. And he talked about mindset. And over the years, the last 4 decades, as I came into the business way back in 1982, I've had different visionaries, part their wisdom. And one of the things I got to see, folks, was great perks in our business. This is one of the greatest industries in the world for treating us like royalty. But there was a secret that was imparted about, I saw it for the very first time back in the mid 80s. And that was the vision of owning your own business. This is an agent-owned agency, and not everybody gets the break to be at the right place at the right time. Imagine you were a janitor at Walmart in the 1960s. Imagine you were at the beginning of Microsoft, or you worked at, you were one of the visionaries of Facebook. I mean, there's a time and place to be everywhere in the world, and not everybody gets that lucky break. In 1987, I recruited a guy named Blair into into Continental Western Life. And he was just a guy we shared a house with, we drank with, we went to bars with. But he caught the vision of this industry, and he built an agency with 15,000 agents. And Raymond James last year bought that agency for $100 million. And the lesson I got from all that, besides being a friend of Blair's for several decades, was that he had 15,000 people that got him to the finish line, and he shared none of it with his field force. He never thought of it. Him and Dwight got their check and smiled all the way to the bank. Andy, who does our back office, we've done tons of business for Andy, and he's a good friend. But when he sold his agency a couple of years ago, I didn't see any checks being made out to FEG. He didn't share. When Doug McDermott sold the annuity store a few years ago, all those people that worked in his back office that had been prosperous, making great incomes, he shared none of that sale. And agency after agency, if I go all the way back when 1989, when the great A.L. Williams was sold for $1.4 billion, the agency, Art didn't share that with anybody from the field. He just didn't. But you see, I was blessed. I was blessed to be part of an agency. And by the way, Petro, boy, is the round Reagan disease hitting your poor brain today. We actually went to work together in 1991. That's more than 6 or 7 years, by the way. It just is. And if the math is that fuzzy, I volunteer today to help reunite the vision. But all kidding aside, you gave us the first time, the first agency opportunity, you and Blumenkemper, and you said, we're going to share something. And from 1991 to 1996, we recruited 25,000 agents. We paid out $100 million in commissions in 4.5 years. And we sold that tiny little agency for $48 million. And you didn't hold it, you shared it with your partners, the people that got you there to the table, the producers. 2/3 of that went to the field. Of course, we were captive. Never knew if we were going to get to play ball. Some of you thought you were retired for the rest of your life, but that didn't happen. And for some reason, we re-entered the marketplace in 2002, 2003. And folks, we started from a dead scratch. And within 24 months, we were the #1 producing IUL entity in the United States for a company at that time that did 48% of the IUL sales in the United States. We weren't kept on the bottom of the rung. And as we split our business up over the handful of years between multiple carriers, because that was a good business plan, we put together a game plan once again to build something special. And it takes a lot of work, because to do it right this time, we don't want 20 or 30 or $50 million. Had that offer, it has been said no to. We want something real. We want Mark Cuban type payoff, folks. And to have that, you got to go back to the principles of a crusade. If you don't have a crusade, you have nothing. And thank God the insurance industry did the biggest blunder in the history of mankind and gave you a roadmap to a crusade. Now, if some of you, unless you know me, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But the insurance industry has been keeping the American consumer in the dark for 20 years of what it could be. Imagine the ability that the day someone got sick, yeah, that's that thing Petro talked about, that living benefit thing. The day someone got sick, designing the contract right to pay out that death benefit and pay off all their debts. You know, the average age of a claim in America really is 43 years of age. And the average age of a bankruptcy for medical incapacitation really is 44. But we can take it a step further. You see, this is not Band-Aid insurance like Aflac or Colonial. This is real stuff. This is life-changing stuff. The ability to issue enough life insurance, enough, mind you, and all this came to fruition this past Friday to me. Last Friday, one of my agents called. We did a case 10 months ago. And I sold an IUL for $1,000 a month, and we were putting in $60,000 over a couple of years extra into the contract. It was a 57-year-old female. They didn't do a good job saving. And I made the comment, I said the $750 in death benefits probably going to be more important than the projected cash values in the contract. So we replaced their garbage life insurance. We put them into the new stuff, and we used an asset-based contract. And on Friday, Steve called me up on the phone, and he said, Dave, I got some bad news. Our client that we did last year, 10 months ago, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I go, that's great news. He goes, what? I said, I know it's sad that she's sick and everything, but, you know, we get to file a claim. We get to do exactly what we said and with them, that we're going to be able to get that lump sum released and go buy a guaranteed income, and their retirement that was maybe not going to happen now can happen. Thank God, their lottery ticket came in. That new type of life insurance can save lives, folks. It really does make that big a difference. It is a vision. And when you realize the insurance industry has hidden this for 2 decades, the 149 million in-force contracts are the profitable stuff, the stuff that, 98% never designed to pay out a claim. And I know that's just the way it is. The insurance industry did not want to embrace the new stuff, but we did, a few of us. And folks, if we're going to do a great job, if we want a Mark Cuban type exit for us, which I do, I want the B word for myself personally, not just for my partners. I want the B word. And I have built my own game plan inside FEG that in the next 18 months, I am going to the 250 million mark of premium. I have it written down. I know exactly what I have to do to get there. I built my mousetrap and it works. And because we built this mousetrap and it works, it really does mean FEG is going to the finish line. Mr. Blumenkemper, Mr. St. Clair, and Mr. Petrinovich are going to smile because the numbers that we need to get a multi-billion-dollar offer from one of the hedge funds out there that want to be in the insurance industry today, believe me, they want to be, and they're all pivoting for a position, probably will overpay. That's a beautiful thing, by the way, that overpay thing. So how do you get there? It's not by recruiting a couple hundred people a month, folks. That ain't going to get the job done. If you had 500 agents doing 4 sales a week, 2,000 sales total, 8,000 sales a month, that's only 1/10 of 1%. That's not a game changer. You have to recruit A.L. Williams type numbers like it was done back in the 70s and 80s and is currently done at other companies, but they don't try to make a change. That company over at Transamerica could care less about the American people. They just don't. They use the insurance as a conduit just to create money for a business plan. They don't go back and right a wrong, and they couldn't because they sell crap insurance. The crap that they sell is beyond crap. But they know how to recruit, and they're going to do $1 billion in premium this year doing the wrong thing. That company down the street that is the Wall Street giant known as Primerica, moving billions and billions, probably this year over $50 billion in face amount. Within a decade, 30 to 40 billion in checks and claims that should have been done won't be done because they sold garbage to their clientele. They took dreams and trashed them, thinking they did the right thing. And in reality, they killed so many innocent people. If you want to have something that's a heinous act, look at what Primerica's done the last couple of decades, and you can see nothing but just garbage spitting out of it. They are worse than anything you can humanly imagine. Of course, you have to understand the stats to believe that. You have to understand that they were a product of the insurance industry that was determined not to give the American people the good stuff. The good stuff exists, and you're part of a unit that wants to do it. So you got to go out there and you got to do the right thing. You got to get in front of the American people. You got to get them to the finish line. You just do. You got to replace life insurance policies with the new stuff. You got to help them. And whether you sell term life, super term, or index asset-based life insurance, it doesn't matter to me. All that matters to me is that when they get sick, they've got a shot. They deserve that shot. And if they get that shot and you do your job and you build your distribution, well then, if you build it, they will come. They will come, and this entity will be sold. And for those of you that were dedicated to FEG, this is way better than some incentive trip to go hang out by the beach in Mexico. This is better than sitting in Rome having I had the privilege of having 4 members of the Rome Opera House do a private presentation to a handful of us that were the elite of the insurance industry a few years ago. I got to tell you something. This isn't about a spiff. This is about our dream to build it, sell it, and yes, it's in your contract, share it. And if you think we're going to do it for 100 mil or 200 mil, you're out of your minds. And with that said, folks, it's time to make this weekend, this moment, this hour, this minute, your moment. Have a blessed, great weekend. We'll see you all fight the good fight next week. We'll see you in Cabo. Have a great one.
All right. Hey, Dave, great job. My wife's in the background all excited. She goes, great speech. Anyway, everybody, our first ever onboarding builder university. Get your people on next time. Who's the most, the brand newest recruit? This dream is alive, and we're going to take advantage of it. And my hope is that that you give yourself the opportunity to change your own life. So take care. Love y'all. Dave, great job. Going to see a whole bunch of you in Cabo in the next couple of days. Looking forward to it. Bye-bye.